Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle Kalypso Strategy and Tactics Pack 2025 of December 2025. To help me answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful, most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have Disciples Liberation, a mature dark fantasy strategy RPG featuring turn-based combat and a sprawling world called Nevendar. You'll find yourself immersed in a rich overworld where you must align with various factions, ranging from human religious extremists to an undead army led by a mad queen. Every decision you make carries weight, leading toward 5 unique endings across an 80-hour campaign. The gameplay revolves around a solid loop of resource gathering, base building, and tactical battles. You have access to 4 classes and over 50 units, offering significant variety for your army. However, you should prepare for repetition. The game is packed with trash mobs, and even with combat speed increased to 300%, you'll spend hours waiting for long animations to resolve. While the Conquer function allows you to skip lower level fights, it often fails to trigger in later acts, forcing you into tedious encounters. You should be prepared for a story that feels slightly disjointed and a romance system that feels tacked on, despite strong character building for your companions. The difficulty curve is also uneven. While the first act is relatively easy, you'll face significant challenges by the third act against damage sponge enemies. If you love Disciples 2, remember that this is not a direct sequel, but a standalone entry with its own identity. If you enjoy intricate strategy, rich lore, and atmospheric settings, you'll find a rewarding, albeit long epic that invites multiple playthroughs to uncover every secret and ending. At number 2 we have Disciples Liberation Paths to Madness DLC, an expansion to the base game, offering new dungeons, units, and side quests in the world of Nevendar. It invites you to explore hidden depths, uncover long-lost relics, and battle your way through mysterious challenges. If you enjoy the core game, this DLC brings more of what you love, including 4 imaginative units like the Daughter of Sin and Living Armor, adding variety to your army. The new dungeons, such as the Necromancer's Laboratory and an Elven Sacred Grove, are visually distinct and atmospheric, showcasing thoughtful design. The relics you discover, such as the Dragon Blade of Illumiel, provide powerful options for your battles. However, the DLC can be quite short, at just 2 to 3 hours of content. The quests are straightforward, and lack the narrative depth you expect from a game with strong story elements. The absence of voice acting and underdeveloped dialogue detracts from the experience. While the units are fun, their mechanics are not particularly groundbreaking. If you're new to the game or playing a fresh playthrough, the DLC's additional units and challenges can enhance your journey. However, for seasoned players who have completed the base game, Paths to Madness may feel like a missed opportunity for richer content. Just note that this bundle gives you a 55% off coupon, as opposed to the DLC itself. At number 3 we have Dungeons 3, a hybrid dungeon management and real-time strategy game that draws heavy inspiration from Dungeon Keeper 2, but introduces its own twists to the formula. Here, you take control of the ultimate evil, who is expanding his dominion with the help of Thalia, a dark elf under his sway. You'll spend your time building a dungeon, using your little snot workers to dig out rooms, mine gold, and set traps. The game improves on its predecessor by streamlining mechanics and adding a refined research system. Now, research is done through a sidebar menu and does not require specific creatures to operate, making it feel less cumbersome. You gain evilness, a key resource, by capturing overworld locations, which also unlocks more research options. The gameplay switches up when you head to the overworld. Here, it turns into a simplified RTS, where your creatures fight through enemy camps and cities. You cannot build structures on the surface, focusing purely on combat. The process of moving between dungeons and overworld battles has been made smoother, and you can teleport quickly with a portal spell, adding to the flow. While the missions allow more freedom in how you tackle objectives, they can become repetitive, often revolving around a cycle of attacking, retreating, and healing. Still, the improved pacing and streamlined resource management make it more engaging than its predecessor. The humorous narrator returns, breaking the fourth wall and poking fun at fantasy tropes, adding charm to the experience. This bundle also includes multiple DLCs for Dungeons 3, featuring new campaigns, missions, maps, hubs, outfits, new boss enemies, and more. At number 4 we have Commandos 3 Destination Berlin, a real-time tactics game that places you in charge of a small team of elite soldiers infiltrating behind enemy lines during World War II. You'll navigate through a series of intense missions across Europe, from the chaos of Stalingrad to the beaches of Normandy, requiring stealth, sabotage, and strategy at every turn. Compared to its beloved predecessors, this third entry offers more action-packed compact missions with smaller, more detailed maps. These changes aim to make the game more accessible and fast-paced. You'll experience varied environments, destructible elements, and dynamic challenges that push you to adapt your plans mid-mission. Unfortunately, some of these changes come at a cost. You might find the interface clunky, with no option to rebind keys or use the mouse to scroll the map. Combat actions, like switching from movement to throwing a grenade, feel sluggish, and certain bugs, like disappearing items or enemy AI wandering off the map, can be frustrating. Fans of the series may also miss cut features, like detailed interiors, bonus missions, or the iconic characters Natasha and the driver. Still, Commandos 3 does deliver satisfying tactical gameplay when things go right. Coordinating your units to outwit Nazi patrols and execute daring missions remains rewarding. If you're new to the series, you may enjoy the challenge. But if you've played Commandos 1 or 2, you'll likely feel that this one lacks polish and depth. Commandos 3 is a mixed bag, ambitious but rushed, fun but flawed. Approach it with measured expectations. At number 5 we have Immortal Realms Vampire Wars, a hybrid strategy game that mixes empire management, turn-based battles, and card-based mechanics. Set in a gothic world of vampires and supernatural creatures, it challenges you to control your bloodthirsty factions in both conquest and tactical battles. The game introduces you to its complex mechanics with a robust tutorial, but once you dive into the campaign, things quickly shift. Each of the 3 faction campaigns has unique storylines, but you must play them in a set order. However, the campaign's restrictive mechanics often contradict what you learn in the tutorial, making it confusing to adapt to new mission rules. Combat involves turn-based grid-style battles, where positioning and strategic planning are key. Lords of powerful spells add another layer of tactics, but a limited unit count and grid bottlenecks can make battles feel constrained. The game also struggles with UI issues, especially when it comes to inspecting units or navigating text-heavy menus, which can be frustrating in critical moments. Despite its creative mix of genres, Immortal Realms feels like it lacks polish. The vampire theme is compelling, but the execution is inconsistent, with mechanics that sometimes feel overly simplified or contradictory. Strategy veterans may find the game too shallow compared to titles like Total War, while others might appreciate its more straightforward approach. If you're into vampire lore and enjoy lighter strategy games, this one might satisfy, but for those seeking depth and refinement, it falls short of its potential. A cool concept, but not quite fully realized. At number 6 we have Sudden Strike 4, a real-time strategy game that plunges you into the heat of World War II battles. This game offers 3 comprehensive campaigns, where you command the Allied, German, or Soviet forces. With over 100 distinct units, including iconic tanks like the Russian T-34 and the fearsome German Tiger, the game challenges you to master historical warfare. You'll find yourself not just strategizing troop movements, but also leveraging legendary commanders like George Patton or Bernard Montgomery, each with unique abilities that can turn the tide of battle. Unlike previous entries, the pause and play feature gives you more control over your tactics, allowing you to carefully plan out ambushes, airstrikes, and defensive setups. The graphics are impressively detailed, bringing both the terrain and combat sequences to life. Whether you're blasting through the single-player missions, tackling skirmish challenges, or competing against other players in multiplayer mode, you're in for a tense, strategic experience. However, some players have noted issues with pathfinding and unit AI, which can occasionally make your carefully laid out plans go awry. For fans of classic World War II strategy games, Sudden Strike 4 strikes a balance between realism and tactical depth. While it does not reinvent the genre, it expands on the beloved formula with enhanced visuals and engaging new features. If you thrive on the thrill of commanding armies and high-stakes battles, this one is worth adding to your collection. At number 7 we have Praetorians HD Remaster, a refreshed version of the 2003 classic strategy game. This remaster attempts to bring back the tactical warfare of ancient Rome, but with only modest visual improvements. Praetorians was a game that stood out in its time for its focus on deep technical combat rather than traditional resource management. You're expected to master terrain advantages, formations, and unit matchups. Archers, cavalry, and heavy infantry all play a rock-paper-scissors game where positioning is critical. Once committed to battle, units are locked in, requiring precise planning and foresight. Unfortunately, while these mechanics still shine, the HD remaster does not add much beyond a resolution boost and some UI tweaks. The game's dated AI, clunky camera controls, and lifeless animation become glaringly apparent. Units drift across battlefield like ghosts, sometimes passing through trees and each other, making battles feel more like abstract simulations than gritty, immersive skirmishes. If you're nostalgic for the original Praetorians and already have muscular memory for its quirks, you might appreciate revisiting it with slightly sharper visuals. However, for those accustomed to modern strategy games like Total War, this remaster falls short. It is essentially the same game from 2003. Without meaningful updates to gameplay or AI, it is hard to recommend unless you're a diehard fan. Praetorians HD Remaster feels like a relic, better left in the past. And number 8 we have Commandos 2 Men of Courage. A tactical action strategy game that puts you in control of a skilled team of commandos operating deep behind enemy lines during World War II. With a mix of stealth, sabotage, and real-time tactics, you complete dangerous missions across Europe and the Pacific, from Nazi headquarters to submarine bases and Japanese fortresses. What makes this game unique is the depth of its mechanics. You control 9 uniquely skilled characters, including a sniper, spy, thief, and a dog named Whiskey. Each mission gives you multiple ways to approach objectives, rewarding creativity and patience. You can steal uniforms, hide in buildings, swim through canals, or rig explosive traps, all while avoiding detection. Commandos 2 introduces a fully rotatable 3D environment, a major leap forward from its predecessor. You can zoom in and out, move between interior and exterior spaces seamlessly, and interact with your surroundings like never before. From cutting through fences to sneaking in through windows, the game empowers you to truly outwit your enemies. The learning curve can be steep, and early missions may feel overwhelming, but once you understand each commando's abilities, the experience becomes deeply satisfying. The atmosphere, music, and historical detail add even more immersion. Some outdated interface quirks and a lack of modern hardware support may frustrate new players, but once you adjust, you'll discover why this remains a gold standard in tactical games. If you enjoy thoughtful, stealth-driven gameplay, Commandos 2 is a must-play classic that still holds up brilliantly. And number 9 we have Dungeons 2, a strategy and dungeon management game where you step into the role of the vengeful dungeon lord. Your mission is to expand your underworld empire by recruiting monstrous minions and unleashing chaos upon the world. This game cleverly mixes dungeon building with real-time strategy elements, offering a blend of dark humor and tactical gameplay. If you're a fan of classic Dungeon Keeper games, Dungeons 2 captures that nostalgia while bringing its own unique twist. You'll start by constructing an intricate underground lair, managing resources, and keeping your minions in line with the Hand of Terror. The twist? You're not just confined to the darkness. Venture into the overworld to wage war against human cities, expanding your evil reign. The witty narrator keeps things lighthearted, throwing in amusing references to popular media, though some might find his constant chatter hit or miss. The campaign offers a solid mix of strategy and humor, though combat is straightforward. Gather your troops, unleash them, and watch them hack away. Multiplayer modes add extra replayability, but the game's limited unit types and lack of co-op can leave you wanting more. While Dungeons 2 is visually appealing and packed with charm, the controls can be cumbersome, and managing your minions can feel clunky at times. However, if you're itching for a dungeon crawling experience with a side of humor, it is worth picking up. This bundle also includes new campaign missions, new enemies, and the undead faction. And number 10 we have Commandos Behind Enemy Lines, a real-time tactical game set in World War II, where you lead a team of 6 elite commandos on dangerous missions behind enemy lines. You must use strategy, stealth, and tactical genius to complete objectives like sabotage while keeping your team alive. This game challenges you to think critically and plan every move. Each commando has a unique skill set, such as sniping, demolition, or stealth, that adds layer of strategy to your approach. You'll need to synchronize their actions to outsmart the enemy and navigate through 20 missions set in Europe and Northern Africa. The game's zoomable isometric camera lets you plan from multiple angles, adding depth to your strategies. Despite its age, the game remains a cult classic, praised for its intricate puzzle-like gameplay. The absence of an autosave function means you rely heavily on quick loads, which can add to the tension as you try to perfect your plan. The controls and mechanics might feel a bit clunky by today's standards, but the satisfaction of overcoming a well-executed mission is still rewarding. Commandos, Behind Enemy Lines, is a must-try for fans of strategy and stealth. While it may seem archaic, its challenge and tactical depth still hold up. If you have the patience to deal with its difficulty spikes and occasional frustrations, you'll find an immersive and rewarding experience. At number 11 we have Dungeons or Dungeons 1. Dungeons flips the classic hero versus monster trope on its head, letting you step into the boots of a sinister dungeon lord. As the master of your underground domain, you'll manage goblin workers, lure unsuspecting heroes into traps, and gleefully harvest their soul energy after meeting their desires, a uniquely evil twist that sets the game apart. The strategy and RPG elements shine when designing your dungeon to challenge 10 hero classes while managing 15 monster types. It is satisfying to build intricate traps and watch greedy heroes fall prey to your diabolical designs. The campaign offers 17 missions that test your cunning, and custom games provide replayability. However, the steep learning curve and clunky tutorials may frustrate newcomers. The game oozes charm with its villain protagonist and witty narrative, though the humor might feel forced for some. The graphics and UI feel dated, but the core gameplay concept keeps you hooked if you're patient. Unfortunately, technical issues detract from the experience for many players. Bugs, crashes, and outdated mechanics can pull you out of immersion. If you enjoyed classics like Dungeon Keeper, Dungeons offers a fresh perspective on dungeon management. However, it is not without flaws, requiring a degree of patience and nostalgia to truly enjoy. This is a game for those who relish strategic mischief, but can overlook its aging design and technical quirks. For a more polished experience, you might look to later entries in the series. This bundle includes 2 DLCs for Dungeons, featuring new prestige items, campaigns, maps, and much more. At number 12 we have Dungeons: The Dark Lord, a strategy simulation game that lets you embrace your inner villain as you build and manage your own dungeon. You play as Kalypso, working to thwart the Dark Lord's plans of unifying the underworld. Along the way, you will raise your prestige, collect soul energy, and battle heroes who wander into your dungeon seeking their desires. The gameplay mixes base building with tactical decision making. You'll design traps, create monsters, and fulfill the desires of heroes to gain their soul energy, using it to improve your dungeon. The twist is that you must imprison the heroes and drain their souls once their needs are met. It is a satisfying blend of strategy and humor, with many references to popular culture such as The Lord of the Rings. The dungeon heart, which powers your lair, must be defended against powerful champions that can destroy it, adding an extra layer of challenge. The game's colorful graphics and detailed environments help immerse you in the world, while the gameplay encourages you to think creatively and plan ahead. Dungeons: The Dark Lord offers a unique experience, with gameplay that's more intricate than typical dungeon management games. While its controls and mechanics may seem overwhelming at first, it will not be long before you're hooked by its humor, strategy, and the joy of being the ultimate evil overlord. If you're a fan of the genre, this game is well worth your time. At number 13 we have Sudden Strike 3, a World War II real-time strategy game that thrusts you into large-scale battles with naval, airborne, and land-based forces, all rendered in full 3D. It offers a mix of strategic depth and tactical challenges, focusing on planning and precision rather than speed. This is not a quick play game. Battles can take hours as you carefully maneuver thousands of troops and vehicles across sprawling maps. The game excels in its scale and authenticity, with over 300 historically accurate units and realistic mechanics like line of sight and projectile ranges. It's a dream for history and strategy enthusiasts. You can command armies from 5 nations across campaigns that span iconic World War II battles. The destructible environments and detailed maps further immerse you in the chaos of war. However, the gameplay demands patience and attention to detail. Rushing forward will often result in devastating losses, so careful planning and methodical advances are key. Despite its strengths, Sudden Strike 3 shows its age. The AI can be frustratingly clunky, requiring constant micromanagement to ensure units follow orders. Pathfinding issues and occasional bugs disrupt the flow, while reinforcements and objectives can feel unclear. For modern players, compatibility with Windows 10 may require extra setup, adding another hurdle. If you're a dedicated RTS fan seeking a hardcore tactical World War II experience, Sudden Strike 3 delivers. But for those looking for smoother mechanics or faster-paced gameplay, other titles might be better suited. At number 14 we have Sudden Strike 2 Gold, a classic World War II real-time strategy game that puts you in command of German, Russian, British, American, and Imperial Japanese forces. With its focus on tactical gameplay and battlefield strategy, the game eschews traditional base building, making every decision and unit count. The game's depth lies in its mechanics. You must carefully manage your troops, vehicles, and resources, as reinforcements are scarce. The dynamic gameplay encourages scavenging the battlefield, positioning units strategically, and using what's available to outmaneuver the enemy. Tanks dominate the battlefield, but their vulnerabilities, like exposed flanks, keep you on your toes. The armor penetration mechanics add realism and tension, forcing you to adapt or suffer heavy casualties. Sudden Strike 2 Gold offers 5 diverse campaigns and introduces naval and aerial units, alongside ground forces. The addition of dynamic weather and historically accurate units enhances immersion. Despite its age, the 2D graphics remain visually appealing, and the included mission editor provides limitless replayability, though it requires patience to master. The game's flaws, like clumsy AI pathfinding and lack of unit stat indicators, may frustrate newcomers. Multiplayer activity is sparse, limiting its appeal for competitive players. However, single-player scenarios deliver a rewarding and challenging experience. If you enjoy methodical unit-focused RTS games without base building, Sudden Strike 2 Gold is a must-play. Its mix of tactical depth, historical accuracy, and nostalgic charm make it a worthwhile addition to any strategy enthusiast's library. At number 15 we have Sudden Strike Gold, a revolutionary real-time strategy game set during World War II. In this classic, you command Russian, German, French, American, and British forces across expansive battlefields featuring urban warfare, beach landings, and aerial invasions. The game's focus on tactics over resource collection or base building delivers a unique and challenging experience. What makes Sudden Strike Gold unique is its scale and depth. You can command up to 1,000 units per mission, including historically accurate infantry, tanks, and aircraft. Each unit requires careful management, as reinforcements are limited, making every loss significant. Gigantic maps allow for diverse strategies, whether you're flanking enemies, fortifying positions, or building pontoon bridges to outmaneuver opponents. The destructible environments add an extra layer of realism, enabling you to shape the battlefield to your advantage. The game's difficulty is a highlight, with missions often requiring trial and error to master. Its hardcore realism reflects the chaos of war, where logistics like resupplying units or managing their survival become pivotal. The vintage sprite-based graphics may seem dated today, but they exude charm and hold up surprisingly well for a game released in 2001. While the lack of modern conveniences, such as intuitive unit controls or fluid pathfinding, can be frustrating, they reinforce the need for strategic precision. The included scenario editor expands replayability, offering limitless possibilities for creative players. If you're seeking a challenging, tactics-driven World War II experience, Sudden Strike Gold is an enduring classic that remains rewarding, even decades after its release. At number 16 we have Dungeons 4. Dungeons 4 places you in the shoes of an evil overlord, commanding monsters and mayhem from your subterranean lair. Your goal is to conquer the overworld, destroy pesky heroes, and become the ultimate megalomaniac. Blending base building with real-time strategy, it offers a unique and engaging twist on the genre. The game welcomes newcomers, with early levels guiding you through its mechanics. You'll manage your dungeon, gather evilness to upgrade monsters and rooms, and balance raiding the overworld with defending your lair. This dual-layered gameplay is satisfying, as you juggle the risk of sending creatures above ground while protecting your base below. A highlight is the trap system, allowing you to design corridors filled with deadly contraptions to thwart heroes. The late-game challenges ramp up, with tougher enemies attacking in waves, but clever strategies and a solid dungeon layout keep things manageable. However, the forced humor might not land for everyone. The narrator's Hitchhiker's Guide style commentary combined with caricatured voice acting, can feel grating over time. Characters like Thalia, your dark elf protagonist, and her brother Tristan lean heavily into tropes, which some may find amusing, but others might find tiresome. The self-aware script pokes fun at cliches, though its reliance on pop culture parodies feels overdone. Despite minor flaws, Dungeons 4 is a well-crafted and enjoyable game. If you enjoy playing as the villain, and crave a fresh take on strategy and base building, this is a title worth your time. Please note that this bundle gives you a 30% off coupon, as opposed to the game itself. And that's all for this bundle. If you're looking to scratch that tactical itch, this bundle is a total win for your library. Snagging the Ultimate Disciples Liberation experience alongside the Paths to Madness expansion means you're getting hundreds of hours of dark fantasy goodness and deep turn-based theory crafting. Throwing in the Commandos 3 HD Remaster adds that classic high-stakes RTS challenge we all crave. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.